very little. I would just take we should name this thing on my freaking face right now. Can I say that? Hi you guys, hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Today I am showing you how to cover up breakouts for beginners. This is a very important video to me because I, like so many other people, have struggled so much with acne, and I see a lot of, not incorrect, but maybe there could be a little bit more productive information out there for a lot of people. And if that is what you're looking for and what you need, then I really hope that this video is helpful for you guys. Again, if there are any questions that you have throughout this video, leave them down below for me in the comments. I cannot wait to help you guys on your makeup journey, and you guys can also help me on my makeup journey because it is every day like that. And without further ado, we can hop right into the tutorial. So today is like the most perfect day for this tutorial for me because I have these massive craters on my face today, these volcanoes. So the first step, I have already prepped and primed my skin. I'm gonna make sure that it is nice and moisturized. I have on my primer. The first thing that you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking a concealer, a full coverage concealer. I don't have one that is my skin type, so I just mixed one with a spatula. Just so you know, this is going to be our skin type. That's very important. We're not going to be using the regular concealer that we would put underneath our eyes because we don't want to draw attention to those areas by adding a highlight and making this big white patch. So oh my god, it's so bad. Whatever, this is what makeup is for, you guys. And I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to go right over anywhere that I'm breaking out, and I'm going to blend that with my finger until I am satisfied. I also have a lot of redness. I'm breaking out a lot today. I think it's because it's cold out recently and my skin has been dry, so I've been trying to compensate that with putting on like excessive amounts of moisturizer instead of just drinking water like I'm supposed to. So I'm putting on anywhere where I have any sort of redness. And so the thing with covering up breakouts, you guys, it is very important, and I wanted to make a video for this because a lot of times I see things that, yes, they're helpful, but there are techniques that are better, if that makes sense. So a lot of times I just see makeup artists like caking on makeup, and that's not really what you should be doing anytime with makeup. As far as product goes, it's fine to add pigment and color and anything bright that you'd like, but as far as actual product, you always want to go less is more. Always want to go minimalistic and with the least amount of product that you can. And I got some concealer on my lips. Okay, well, now that part is done, guys. We have our concealer on, and there is really barely any concealer on there at all. The reason that we are starting off with that concealer is because concealer on its own is already very full coverage. So if you even feel like this is enough coverage for you, you can just go on with your normal foundation routine, and that's totally fine. But if you feel like you might need a little bit more, grab a full coverage concealer foundation. And so what we're going to do, there's a couple points that I do want to make with foundations and breakouts. The first thing is that cream is always going to be the better choice, just because it's going to end up blending better. You're gonna have a lot more control over the cream product than you would a powder product. The second thing is you always when you're having issues with breakouts, you want to lean towards a more mattifying product. You never want to use anything with shimmer or any sort of glow, things like that, because like I say in all of my videos, guys, and this is a very important thing to realize in makeup is that whenever you add shimmer, whenever you add light, whenever you add brightness, you're actually pushing those areas out and drawing more attention to them. That's why we brighten up our under eyes, you know, we brighten up anywhere that we want to pop. And then when we want to sink in, we add darker colors. That's why we add the contour right over here. And that's why we have these in our natural, where the sun would hit the skin, those natural shadows. That's why we have those dark placements and those light placements. And when I am applying my foundation, this is an amazing technique. So I am an actual makeup artist, so I have a lot of these sponges right here. Just a little side note, a little side tip. If you are or have ever considered becoming a professional makeup artist, you are going to need to invest in these. There is just no other way. These are disposable sponges. They come in packs of like hundreds of them. You can get so many of these things. They're fairly inexpensive compared to like beauty blenders. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rip it. Oh my God, I'm not strong. And I'm going to take this, so now we have two sponges like this. Now we have two. And I'm gonna take this textured side right over here, and I'm going to dip it into my cream foundation. This is a cream to powder actually. And I'm just going to stipple that onto my face. And what this is doing, the reason why we ripped our sponge is because now we have kind of like a rocky, bumpy texture on our sponge. And this is especially good if you have big protruding blemishes like I have right now, or even like it's good for all breakouts if you have acne scarring, because it just really goes along with the texture of your face and makes it so much smoother. Especially, it's really hard to cover up texture. It's really hard, and I know, trust me, what it is like to struggle with acne. I had really bad acne two summers ago, I believe, and it was traumatizing. I'm not gonna lie. I know that sounds horrible to say, oh, it was traumatizing, and it might sound dramatic, but it's not. It's really not. And it's hard living like that. You don't even want to leave the house sometimes, but there are ways and there are techniques that makeup can definitely help with, and hopefully make you feel more confident in your skin. But even if you do have acne or have redness or acne scarring, anything like that, you are obviously still beautiful inside and out, and makeup can only enhance your natural beauty. Something else, you guys, that is really amazing about these sponges, especially if you are having breakouts, is that these are extremely hygienic. So a lot of times, and I know it's really tough, but we put off, or we just forget about, or we don't have time, anything like that, to clean our makeup products, our tools. So that's our brushes, our sponges, everything like that. And this is just smaller, obviously, so it's taking me a little bit longer, but you can do this with like a larger sponge if you'd like. And I'm just trying to make sure I blend everything, and then I'm getting all of these areas. And I know it might look like I'm putting on a lot of product, but I'm actually really not, because I'm applying such little product at a time. But yeah, back to my point about these sponges and not cleaning our brushes. So these are extremely hygienic. It is the most hygienic way, definitely, is to use disposable sponges. I know that sounds rather wasteful to a lot of people, but you can never be too careful, especially if you're doing makeup on other people. You need to make sure, especially if you're charging other people, that everything that you're doing is to the highest standards of cleanliness that you can possibly achieve. And that's why we use these sponges. And plus, they're just great tools. Like, they apply very well. They have all different shapes for disposable sponges that you can get. I'll show you guys. I'll go get some of my special effects sponges actually and show you guys those also. But with these being so hygienic, it actually might help with your breakouts because there might be bacteria that is just living around in your, I mean, there is definitely, bacteria can grow very easily in sponges especially. Brushes are a little bit easier to clean, but this, if you're using disposable sponges, it's much better for the health of your skin, and it might actually help fight against breakouts that are being caused by those other pesky bacteria-filled makeup tools. And I just also think it's very, I cannot stress enough how important this is to have disposable sponges. If you are a professional makeup artist, I think hygiene is the most important part, and making your client feel comfortable and everything like that. So here we go. And so you guys can already see, at least I can definitely tell a difference in the mirror. And I always say this throughout all of my videos, guys, but I do have studio lights. Keep in mind that I do have studio lights. Most, if not like almost, not everybody, but almost every single beauty influencer, YouTuber out there has studio lights, has editing, it is doing so many things to make our skin look better than it actually is. So if you are thinking to yourself, like, my skin right now, oh yeah, her skin's not that bad. No, it's that bad, sis. It is that bad. It's just because I have these high def lights. I have this amazing editing system, so to do the color balance, everything like that. But texture is really hard to see underneath like flat lighting, and that's why ring lights are so popular, because it is that flat lighting, you know, it smooths out. And most beauty influencers, they do use flat lighting. It's the best. That is beauty lighting, you know. So don't be discouraged if you are thinking to yourself, oh, nobody else has breakouts like mine, no one else has texture like mine online. We do, everybody does. Don't worry, it's just not real. We just cover it up with these types of things. So moving on, you guys, now I'm going to set my face. If you are struggling with acne and you already are putting on like a matte foundation and you have on your concealer and you have really dry skin already and you're suffering with acne, you don't have to set your face at all. You really don't. So this is a cream to powder, so I really don't have to set my face so much. But if you are not using this and you're using a cream product or like a liquid foundation, I recommend using creams because they just apply better over textured skin. I'm just gonna show you guys for the sake of the video how I would do that. And so normally what I wod do is I would just take my very little, very little setting powder and then brush, but instead of that, I'm still gonna take very little. I'm gonna take very little still, and I'm just gonna even top that off. And instead of swiping, I'm just gonna stipple very lightly. So I'm not going really anywhere with this. I'm barely applying any product at all. And this is just what's in my cap, you guys, by the way. I'm not like sweeping up like the extra product from the floor and putting it on my face or anything like that. But yeah, this is just stippling on there. And the whole entire routine for this, I know I said this before, you guys, and I'll say it again a million times. Less is always more, especially actually when you're having breakouts, because you don't want to create that cakey look, and it can be very, very hard with texture, especially if you have acne on your, on your cheeks and your forehead, actually anywhere, because when you have that texture, you're always, think about fine lines in your face. I know that a lot of I mean, younger kids, I feel like a lot of the times you don't have to worry about fine lines. I wish that I was young again. So when you are moving your face like this and you also have texture other places, it's gonna have the same exact effect because it's going to move your makeup all around and it's just not gonna look as smooth as you might like it to look. Okay, so now that my face is set, I'm not going to like over dry my face or anything like that. If you do have dry skin already, I won't lie to you, it's very hard to cover up breakouts on dry skin. It's just hard. I understand, I feel you. I know that's not the answer that you want. I know it. It is possible, but it takes a lot of practice because you have to figure out which products are working best for you without drying out your skin even more, because mattifying products definitely will dry out your skin more than like a dewy or a, you guys, you know what I mean, like a cream product is gonna be a lot more drying, or a powder product is gonna be a lot more drying than a shimmer liquid or anything like that. Like a glowy liquid that is more water-based also. So just, it's tricky, but you'll get there. You definitely will get there. You just have to play around with what products work for you. I know that's not the answer that you guys probably want to hear. I know it, and I know that that is terrible. It sucks. Having acne really sucks. I know, trust me, your girl knows. So now you guys, moving on to our contour, bronzer, blush, all that kind of stuff. So what we are going to do for this is more or less the same than normal. The only difference is I'm not going to bring this down as much as I normally would. So I'm starting off with my bronzer and I am just going, very, very lightly, and I'm always blending into the hairline, always with my contour and my bronzer. But this time, where I would normally just go up and down like this, what I'm doing is I'm going in circular motions like this, and I'm really being so gentle with this brush because I do not want any, you can even stipple a little bit, but you have to be very careful with stippling because if you're going to stipple, then you have to get every single little bit of powder off of this excess powder off of this brush. And then you can stipple in this direction like so. So I think that when, I don't even think I put enough on this right over here. I'm just sticking my tongue out. So you guys can definitely see that there's texture here. And I think, there we go. There we go, that's better. So as you guys can see, like it will always still be texture here, no matter where my lights are, you know, because it just, you can't get around texture like that. You can't, you can make it better. Like on flat lighting, it's not as noticeable, you know, but in different types of lighting and close up, like if you guys saw me in person right now, you would definitely be able to see this bad boy. And so I'm not breaking out over here, so I'm just doing my jawline how I would normally contour, and my forehead also. I don't have so much texture or so many pimples on my forehead, but you can do the same technique for any areas that you're breaking out. And so when it comes to breakout, guys, what you want to do really is, and this also is something that really, really stinks. I know, trust me, I know. It's just how it is. So you're not going to want to add really, really, really dark bronzers or contours or blushes over your makeup. This is really important. I mean, everything is really important, and you guys can do your makeup however you want, but there are some things that would make your makeup look maybe a little bit more, not advanced, but you guys know what I mean. You know what I mean. It could make it look a little bit neater and you know what I'm saying. So when you have a balanced face, and when I say balanced, I mean you're not doing a crazy bold eye with like a crazy lip, and you're not doing the most, you know. I mean, you can, but there's a way to balance that, you know. So and vice versa, you're not gonna do like extreme contour and have nothing on, you know, and you're not gonna do like glam contour and then just have maybe on like some mascara or something like that. It doesn't exactly balance one another, so you want that like yin and yang piece on your face. And when you're breaking out, the reason why I'm saying all of this is because a lot of people, including myself, like to do their eyeshadow before they put on their face. But when I break out, it's very important that I use lighter things, or I have a little bit of a lighter hand with my contour and my bronzer and all of that fun stuff, and especially my blush. I think it's really important, you guys, to go with like maybe a peachier blush or like a lighter pink, but definitely not more of a burgundy pink or purple kind of blush. Definitely, I would say stay away from those when you do have texture on your face, because it's just gonna make it a little bit more noticeable, and it's gonna be harder to blend out those dark colors, if that makes sense. And so now for my contour, this is where I can add a little bit more because I'm not using as much surface area as with my bronzer. So I can definitely add a little bit more, and it might look fairly white now, but you can still even tell a big difference just from that contour that I added right there. And I'm going to, yeah, so you can tell a big difference. At least I can. Also, you guys, this video, by the way, is for covering up breakouts. So I just kind of whizzed through my eyeshadow look. I do have a look that is similar to this, but I really wanted to just get right into the face makeup portion of this, because that is the goal of this video, is to help you guys through your breakouts. And you can do normal placement for wherever you would like to have your contour, bronzer, blush, all of that stuff. But just add little by little. Less is more for everything. Less is more, really, and less product. Less product. It's not less pigment. You can always build. You can always add another layer if you want more drama, if you want more glam, and I do love glam. So you can always add, but it's much harder to take away. So, and see, I barely have any contour or bronzer on, and this is not how deep I usually go. I usually go much deeper than this, but because I want to use a light hand in order to not pick up on some of that texture and make it even more emphasized, but you can still tell. You can still tell that I have shape to my face. It's not just some, what is wrong with me today? first the setting powder and now this. But you guys can definitely tell that I have not just like flat whiteness to my face. I'm just gonna do my nose contour like really quick off camera, you guys, because it takes me a hot minute and I don't want to waste any of your time. So I'll be right back. I do have a video on nose contour if you would like to see how I do my nose contour, and also for different shapes of noses as well. So you guys can check that out. I will link it down below for you. You can also check that out on my channel. Alrighty, you guys, so now I'm just going in with my blush, and I'm gonna be using this very light pink shade right over here. It's called Free. I love this palette. And I'm just going to apply that where I would normally apply my blush. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I didn't use any concealer underneath my eyes personally. I don't typically wear concealer under my eyes because I feel like I don't really need it. I feel like the foundation makes it bright enough, especially if I'm using a full coverage foundation, which I always use a full coverage foundation when I have breakouts and I want to cover those up. So if you didn't see me use concealer and you're asking yourself like, why didn't you put on concealer? You can still use it. Don't stress if you want to use it. That is totally fine. I just feel like I don't need the extra coverage underneath my eyes. I love blush. Blush, I feel like just makes such a big difference. How do you guys feel about this hair? I want to start wearing wigs to like protect my hair. But I found one wig company that I liked. It's called Nula. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I like them because they give discounts to people with hair conditions. If you have like a medical hair loss or anything like that, they give you, I think, a 10% discount. I don't know. If you guys have ordered from them before, please let me know. Little side note, because I'm thinking about ordering. And so now, you guys, that I've just talked to you about wigs, I am going to throw on my lips and I will be right back. Well, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Really, just remember also, if you are struggling with breakouts, I know how it is. I feel you, I understand you. And no matter what, you are still beautiful. It is what is on the inside that truly matters, and makeup can only enhance our natural beauty, which everyone has this natural glow about them. And if you just walk out with confidence, feeling good about yourself, then you are already winning at that day and you already are glowing and shining. And that's it, guys. I know how it is, though. I feel you. I have been there. I totally understand. If there are any questions that you guys have that I missed, or you are having a little bit of trouble with the technique or anything like that, please let me know it down in the comment section below. I will always get back to you no matter what to help you throughout your makeup journey. You guys can also help me, and any suggestions that you have or anything like that. If you feel like it and you enjoyed this video today and you want to support me and my channel, you can give this video a big thumbs up and make sure that you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Thanks so much again for hanging out, you guys. I'll see you next time.